Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Paul Kellogg. It's so great to have you here today. We're chatting in ENTV today, Empowered Soul Network. This is just a wonderful opportunity to connect with a beautiful person that I just got a chance to meet. She's calling in from St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Jane Mullin. She's a full-time entrepreneur, been doing that for quite a number of years now. She's an expert in essential oils. An amazing mom with a couple of great kids. And Jane, welcome.
Thank you, Paul. Good to be here today.
Well, let's just dive right into it. When you were telling me right before we started the recording, about your entrepreneurial spirit, what was it that kind of started you going on the journey to that freedom of being an entrepreneur?
That's a great question because I know exactly the answer to that. So I used to be in the dental field. I worked in the dental field for a good 15 years. I did dental assisting, I did office administration, and I was working at a very nice office. I worked with great people and I had a good boss and I got paid well. But as I was sitting at my desk day after day, I was thinking about all the things I could be doing if I wasn't stuck in an office. And I felt like I was this bird in a cage that just wanted to get out and do the things that I wanted to do. And at that time, I really was focusing on health and wellness. And so I decided to leave that job without having anything else to go to in January of 2013. And in February of 2013, I put on my first health and wellness event. And that was the start of my entrepreneurial career.
Wow. Wow. That sounded like it was a dynamic move there. So, to help the people that are listening to this, it might be really helpful, Jane, if you could describe as the feeling of that bird in the cage, what is that like? What is it? What are the feelings that people go through when they have that kind of stuck energy?
Okay, so what I was finding was that it was a real chore for me to go to work. I was usually fine when I got there, but I was looking forward to the weekend because then I would have a break, that I'd have my freedom. And then the other thing was I would get paid every 2 weeks. I'd look at my paycheck and I'd see all the deductions come off. And I thought, oh my goodness, I just worked 2 weeks to make this much money. And now I have to go and start another 2 week period. And I felt I was this hamster on a wheel. And I was not I didn't have even a light at the end of the tunnel. I thought, how long is this going to carry on for?
Were you, and I know other people have their versions of this and their diversities of those feelings. Was that depressing? Did it make you, I mean, did it make you angry? I mean, what was going on in there and it sounded like it was almost like I got to escape from this thing. Give me the weekend so I can get away from that.
Yeah, you're asking good questions because it's evoking emotions and making me think about that time. And I felt I was different than the rest of the employees in the office. They seemed quite happy to be there. They enjoyed the camaraderie of the group, and they were great ladies because it was mostly ladies. We had a male dentist, and they just seemed to, that was just part of their routine. They would get up and go to work and go home. And I was just yearning for something more. I just thought, this is so mundane. Do I really want to wish my life away just doing a 9 to 5? I'm 53 now, so 2013, like this is 11 years ago. So here I was in my early 40s, still thinking I had a lot of life to live before. I didn't want to work till 65, the
Mm.
typical standard retirement age. I could not see myself doing that.
Even earlier than that, um, did when you were growing up, did you have that? Here's the blueprint that you have to follow, or did anybody when you were young or in school, they talk about being an entrepreneur? Was that an idea at all? And but yet you had to go this route?
It was interesting because I did not grow up with an entrepreneurial family. My parents were very much nine to fivers, good jobs and everything, but certainly did not discuss financial freedom or anything. I did have my first job at 10 years old. I had a paper route. I delivered the Toronto Star door to door. I got up at 6 a.m. That was pretty good for a 10-year-old to get out and deliver papers. I thought nothing of it, but I liked the idea of having my own money. That was great. I started working, Tim Hortons and restaurants and stuff at the age of 14. So the work ethic was always there, but I was not thinking in terms of my having my own business or anything. So I did fall into that trap of go to school. I went to high school. I went to university, not knowing what I wanted to do because it was the thing to do. That was the next step. Go to university because that's what you're supposed to do to get another job. But what I found was that I did not enjoy university. In fact, I couldn't get finished quick enough. And I have a degree in psychology. I didn't even go into the psychology field, although I find that topic very fascinating. But I got out and I started working in a sales job, which really you do use psychology for sales. But I didn't need to go to university to get a sales job. So I felt that for me it was a waste. Now I did get married at that time, so there was that aspect of it. I'm not married anymore to that my first starter husband, I call him. But my journey has been as I've gone along, and I would always be very inspired by people that did start their own businesses and created a product, for example, like that lady Sarah who started Spanx. I love her story of how she started it and she went in and was trying to sell it and everything. And anybody that's got this product and they're starting to just get it out there and they have to take 20 no's before they even get looked at. I find that really powerful that they had the strength, the internal fortitude to keep going. Yeah.
So, as you have elevated into that entrepreneur, what would you say are the internal feelings now that you have, having taken that step, found some success? What can people look forward to if they decide they want to give that a shot?
What you can look forward to is having that freedom to work when you want, how as much as you want, and you don't feel tired, you don't feel bored because you're doing something for you. You may be building a legacy. And even if and I mean I had a very serious situation happen to me where I had my income taken away from me from a company that was a multi-level marketing company. And even with having that done, I'm still an entrepreneur. I've always said, even if you take away all my money, I'll clean houses if I have to, but even then I control when I work, how often I work, right? Until I can build up the next stream of income to get to what I want to do. So one thing I know for sure is I don't want to have a boss. I like being my own boss. And there's nothing wrong with people working and having a boss. Like if that works for them, that's fine. But I don't have any joy in that. I would just be, if I had to go back to a job, I would just be biding my time until such time I would be out and have freedom again.
What would you say, Jane, are a couple of the beginning steps for someone to get out and start working in their own business? How do they how do they know what product to do, or how do they know this, or how do they know that? What are some of the guiding forces that helped you to make that move?
You really have to believe in yourself, believe in your product, believe in what you're doing. And you have to have that balance of not feeling desperate, that it is going to work out no matter what tough times you may be going through. You're just one step away from huge success. And to give up now, you could be walking away from something important. So it's that knowing and feeling calm and peaceful, and knowing that if you've got something really good, that you can do it. And I think it's important to have good mentors, good influence around you, positivity. The last thing you need is people bringing you down and telling you, oh, you should go get a job. Because if that's not what you want to do, it's fine if it's temporary, but to lose your soul, like there's nothing worse. You can see it in people's body language when they're depressed. They're walking, their head is down, they're slumped over, they don't look happy. But being rich is an attitude, it's a mindset. So even though my money was taken from me, I still feel rich.
So, what advice would you give for people to further that a little bit? There's so many products out there. There's so many companies. They all are enthusiastic about what they do, and they if you join us, you can do this too, and so on. How do you sort that out? Is there a kind of a place that you have to be to know what's right for you to go into that specific thing as opposed to because they all say they have the greatest thing.
This
This
is
is the
true.
best oil. This is the best
Yeah, yeah,
medicine. Yeah. How do you do
yeah.
that?
I think you have to have something that you you love, like it's a product that you use.
Hmm.
You can't sell something that you don't like or use. You have to resonate with it. And it just won't work. Like it's even with different products, that a company may have a whole bunch of products, and you may have a few favorite products from that company. So talk about those products. Don't try to sell the products that you don't use or you don't like. Someone else might be able to, because we're all different, right? We can all have a product. One product that works for me may not work for you, but really embrace the stuff that you do like. It has to be authentic to you. It will not work. You will not be successful if you're inauthentic. I know this for a fact, because that's what I've always believed. Like one of the things people have always said to me is that, Jane, you're very unique. Well, we're all unique, but I'm unique, I think, just because I go with what resonates in my soul.
Talk a little bit more about that. Because you're an expert now in essential oils, and why did you resonate and choose that particular avenue to be an entrepreneur in?
Well, I was involved in health and wellness products. So that was an easy one for me. At the time, I had not used essential oils, and then when I started using them and learning about them, I thought, well, these things are great. Like this is a natural way of helping our bodies heal, get better, and all that. So that was great. Um, but it's more about, like, you can have an essential oil, but you also have to resonate with the company that you're promoting with. I no longer resonated with the company that I was involved in. And then interesting how that happens. Sometimes decisions are made for you. And I actually was terminated from that company that I was involved in with over 10 years, and back in October. And so now I'm involved with a company that does have some essential oils, but they have a whole bunch of other health and wellness products. And I'm using them, I'm loving them, and they're very, very affordable. And that is what is really resonating with me, because I think that everyone should have access to proper health and wellness. It should not just be for elites, not just be for rich people. And having come from a health and wellness background, most of my treatments, let's say, I live in Canada, so Americans think that we have free healthcare, but it's not free for a number of reasons. One, we pay a lot of taxes for that. But second of all, there's a lot of stuff that is not covered. It's not deemed, under the regulatory provincial guidelines. So, for example, a chiropractor, we have to pay out of pocket. An osteopath, we pay out of pocket. There are a lot of things that we pay out of pocket for, but I believe in paying for it because I think it's very helpful. So I don't always want to go to a prescription. I mean, there are times where people may need that. That's great. But my way of looking at things is I would prefer to go the natural route first. So that's what resonates with me, a company that offers great products for great prices, which I've now found that in a company. And I'm happy. I'm excited. I love promoting this company.
Beautiful. Just great story. So I always loved in my interviews to ask these, this is a two-part question. So if as you were to look back to Jane of 20, 30 years ago, what would you tell that Jane of 20, 30 years ago today?
Oh, that everything is going to be okay, that everything is going to work out, and you will be very, very successful, and to trust your intuition and to go with what you believe is right and enjoy the journey. It's not just when you get there, it's all part of the journey. And even we don't have that crystal ball, right? I mean, there's things I look back on, I thought never would have I thought that would have happened to me. But then it happens to you, and then you have a choice to be the victim or rise above it. And I have risen above those things. I am not going to let what happened to me in the past ruin my life or do a woe is me. I just got to rise up, no matter what. And I know we all go through hard things, and it can be very hard in the moment, but just knowing it will get better. It will always get better with the right attitude because we're given a choice. We can choose to be the victim and stay in victimhood, or we pick up, pull our pants up, pick up our socks, and say, okay, what do I have to do now to get to the next part of my journey?
Beautiful.
That's what it's all about. You know, I because we don't escape. None of us escape. None of us go through life easy. What might seem easy to one person is very difficult to another. But all I have to do is look at another situation, go, oh, I have it good compared to this person, really. So gratitude, being grateful for what we have at the moment.
That's a beautiful message from Jane to Jane. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
I know, I
Okay.
almost forgot I was talking to Jane.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah. What great wisdom to follow in that footsteps. So here's the second part of that two-part question. To reverse it, what would the Jane of 20, 30 years ago say about the Jane of today as she would observe the Jane of today?
I'm impressed. I love your strength. I love your powerful. I love your that you speak out. I love that you will say even things that can put you in a position where you're criticized, but that is what game changers do. That's what people of influence do. So good on you, Jane. Congratulations, Jane.
Beautiful. Well, Jane, thank you so much. I mean, that was just so insightful. I love this interview. How can people get in touch with you if they'd like to connect more with Jane Mullin?
Okay, wonderful. So I'm on Facebook. I have a public profile, Jane Mullin, Mullin. Please spell it right. Many people spell it wrong. I am on TikTok as well. and LinkedIn actually. Um, but that is the best way. Facebook is the best way to reach me. I post a lot of material and yeah, like I mean, I'm a talker. I'm not afraid to talk on the phone. I would prefer to talk on the phone over texting. Emailing is okay, but I will always prefer even something like this, Paul, where we're meeting face to face. Like I'm all in for that. Like I want tonality. I want to see the people's expressions. This is a part of getting to know someone.
Wow, that's just beautiful. Jane, thank you so much for being a part of our effort today and in TV today. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to hear someone who has made it work and is continuing to make it work. So appreciate you. Make sure you put that information of how to reach you when we get the interview posted in TV today. And love to have you stay connected with all of us.
Thank
So
you.
thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Paul.
Jane. And stick
Wonderful.
around for just a minute and we'll chat as we wrap up the
Okay.
recording. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.